Hey, get ready with me to go to a movie premiere. So we got invited to we got invited to the premiere of Sweetwater, which is a Warner Brothers film directed by Martin Guigui.
Heard that version of
Martin Guigui. This was a film that I acted in probably about a year and a half ago, and I guess now it's coming out. So they invited me. So the film is set in 1940s New York. It is about the first first African American to sign an NBA contract. Cary Elwes plays Ned Irish, who was the owner of Madison Square Garden at the time. Everett Osborne is playing Sweetwater, so it should be a good time. I haven't seen it. Since it is 40s inspired, and because I just donated my suits because they didn't fit anymore, we're going for a 50s inspired look. We have this shirt by Miller that I thrifted, which kind of has this like Western cowboy 50s kind of feel. And we've got some like 40s, 60s-esque kind of just ambiguous trousers. So let's start on. Always stay fresh, my friends. So I worked on this, I think, maybe about a year and a half ago, which is pretty common in the film industry. You work on something, you don't get to see it for a while. I'm hoping because they invited me to the premiere tonight, I'm actually in the film.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
It is not uncommon for your part to get cut. I was in one scene. I was what was called a day player. We filmed it on the Warner Brothers lot, which is where the famous sound stages are, where they did Friends, High School Musical. I told myself when I bought these pants, I would get them hemmed, and here we are, like a year later. Like most things in LA, before you really establish yourself, which takes about 10 years, the majority of the work you will be doing is what's called day play, which is where you or your role is just a small segment in the overall larger theme of the show, whether it's a series or a movie, and you come in and usually you just work for one day. These are interesting experiences because you're expected to show up ready to go with a full understanding of how your character and role fits into the larger piece without necessarily having all that information. Honestly, sometimes they're emailing you midnight the night before with exact locations of where you're going to be. So as you can imagine, if you want to get into the line of work and working in the entertainment industry, not only do you have to prepare yourself for rejection, you do have to prepare yourself for awkward interactions and a little bit of ambiguity. I don't exactly know how I feel about the undershirt peeking out. I feel like it might be a little bit tidier because I do want to show some chest. Let's see what it looks like with that. Oh yeah, now we're cooking, Do we want to show off the guns tonight? Do we want to be that guy? Oh yeah, we want to be that guy. Now, because it is a red carpet, I do want to elevate it a little bit. And we're going to do that with these bad boys. My friends, my boys, you do not need to spend a lot of money to look good. This is a fully thrifted outfit. This shirt, I think, was $2. The trousers were maybe $3 or $4. I thrifted these probably about 2 years ago for, let's check. It's rubbed off, but less than $10. A smart pair of black leather or suede shoes you can buy freaking polish on Amazon for $1 or $2. It'll help elevate your look. Let's see what it looks like.
Zachary, that was the coolest freaking transition I've ever seen. How did you do that? That was amazing. Well, let me show you what it looks like without all the editing.
And here's the final fit. I want to keep it really simple in terms of jewelry, so I think I'm just going to do the one tiger's eye. Normally I might wear just like a simple Celtic cross or some other type of pendant. My chain broke, however, my silver chain, so this is the final fit. Wish me luck, guys.
Nice.
And this is the final fit. Wish me luck, guys. I usually don't record like this, so I feel like my eye lines were off this entire time, which is great because okie dokie, let's go check out the film.
away we go. Traffic. I'd love to see those movies. Thought maybe I was recording them. It wasn't. And it was about you, ladies. Always park at the top of the parking structure so you feel like a king. Anyways, yeah, we are going to be walking onto the Warner Brothers lot. First, we gotta wait in the security line. final score. Hey everybody, so the Sweetwater film just finished. We got invited to the at Warner Brothers. Unfortunately, we didn't make the final cut, which is very common. And it happens all the time for time reasons. I was a little hopeful because my scene was with Carrie Elwes and one of the producers, Darren Moorman, and his son. But I knew that it was kind of just a bit part. So it's okay. We're gonna take it as a win. I recognize that a lot of people are working very hard to be at the point where they are invited to a movie premiere and they have a Warner Brothers movie, and I'm still credited. So it is still a booked part. I was really hoping for some good footage though with Carrie Elwes, so I could kind of shop that around town. It's a very difficult industry, and there's a lot of different things that may look to bring you down. But if it's what you really want to do, you got to keep going. So I want to say thank you to everybody who is excited. You can still see the movie. Comes out April 14th. You can catch me in the background a few times. It's a great movie. It's very inspirational. It's definitely a good watch. I did feel a little silly coming all this way and hyping myself up. I have heard stories of actors being invited to premieres before and they don't actually make the cut of the film. It was a little difficult because I was not allowed to have a +1, but it's all right. I'm just being silly. Well, that's that. It's a rite of passage. I know an anecdote that Timothy Chalamet talks about of being so excited to be in Interstellar and then watching his part and just weeping because a lot of it was cut. But it is a common thing. It's a rite of passage. It's a little awkward being in the sea of people, but that's okay. I love you guys. Thanks for watching my content. Thank you for those that have been supporting me for years. And I hope to have something great for you to watch soon. All right, everybody. Take care.
Wow, so that was emotional, yeah? What's up, guys? We are 6 days later, and I just wanted to talk a little bit more about the film if you are interested in seeing it outside of that initial reaction. So that was me coming back into the car immediately after seeing it. I was a little disappointed, obviously, that my scene was cut. And, I just want to reiterate, guys, this is a very common experience. This happens all the time, literally all the time. They overshoot for movies, right? You shoot however many pages the script, maybe they write in a couple of fun things. You're constantly tweaking as you go. And I even remember when I was on set, I was talking with my scene partner, who was one of the producers, and he's like, hey, we really liked your tape. He's like, we feel like this movie is getting a little bit too dark and we really wanted to have some levity. So we have the scene and that's why we added this. It's a little fun moment for the audience. After watching the final film, the film itself is not dark whatsoever. It's a very, even though it is discussing dark topics, it keeps that kind of lightness, that kind of playfulness, which I think is important thematically with the Harlem Globetrotters. So I just want to reiterate, this is a very common experience to talk about the movie. The movie follows Nat Sweetwater Clifton, played by Everett Osborne, who was the first African-American to receive a contract in the NBA. And I don't want to spoil anything about the movie, but all I will say is there's a reason why we're being very specific about the word contract as opposed to something else. But I'll leave that to you. The movie is such a fun ride. If you like inspirational movies, if you like sport movies, if you like movies that you can watch with your family, you're definitely going to like this movie. I reached out to the producer, my scene partner, and he shared a behind the scenes photo with me. So I'm going to share a little bit of the BTS of when I actually filmed my scene. Again, my scene is not in the movie, so I don't have a clip I would love to show you, but I do just kind of have behind the scenes. Check it out, guys. Sweetwater in theaters now. And ultimately, when I first started filming that Get Ready With Me, it was because I wanted to bring you guys along. I know a lot of you follow me because maybe you want to be actors or you're not in the entertainment world whatsoever and you just kind of want to know what it's like. After putting all the footage together, I realized that this video could be much more than just, hey, come along and check out this thing. It is an accurate look into what most actors go through. I feel like we have a lot of the two sides. We know as a culture what it looks like for people who are just beginning or people who really want to get into the film and entertainment. And we obviously know what it looks like for people that have already been successful. You know, we have all these podcasts of, you know, people who have been in the entertainment industry for 20, 30 years and they're looking back, and we can gain a lot of information from that. But there's not a lot of that middle ground. Working actors now who are in a position to tell their story or in a position where people want to hear their story of what kind of their day-to-day looks like. So that's why I wanted to leave the emotional bits in. I thought it was important for you guys to see the emotional journey that actors go on, to go through the day-to-day with us, to see the highs and see the lows. So I'm okay. If anybody was worried, I was allowing myself to feel my feelings because I do think that's very important. And because I wanted you guys to see my honest reaction in that moment. But water under the bridge, we move on, we move onward. Like I said, it is a phenomenal film. You guys should definitely check it out. Okay, thanks a lot, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the behind the scenes, and we'll catch you next time.
This would be perfect for a German raw. Delicious Alfred bacon, Ross. So
check this out. I knew this one.
ticket, but I haven't.
As some of you know, I was like, I know I'm gonna get there, and they're like, sure enough, I sit down. They're like, little mustache, can we? I was like, you can get rid of it if you want. I've talked to nobody. This is what booked me the job. Whatever you need. Honey!